It is the Achilles heel of theism. The question that has launched 1,000 shipwrecks of faith. If God is all-powerful, he could stop the pain. If he's all-loving, he would stop the pain. Yet, the world bleeds. Look at the fossil record. Look at pediatric cancer wards. Evolution is a meat grinder of survival. To believe in a father while children are starving isn't faith. It's a coping mechanism for a cold, indifferent universe. I don't look at the cross and see a God who is indifferent. I see a God who chose to bleed with us. Suffering isn't the evidence of his absence. It's the place where he is most present. The problem of evil, let's talk logic. Epicurus laid it out centuries ago. Is God willing to prevent evil, but not able? Then he is impotent. Is he able, but not willing? Then he is malevolent. If he is both able and willing, whence comes evil? You can't have a 5-star general in charge of a war who lets his soldiers get slaughtered when he has a delete button for the enemy. The delete button is exactly the problem. To have a world where love is real, freedom must be real. If God programmed us to only do good, we wouldn't be humans. We'd be biological puppets. Love requires the possibility of its opposite. You cannot have the beauty of a choice without the risk of a tragedy. Fine, let's grant you free will for human cruelty. But what about natural evil? What about the earthquake that kills 30,000 people? They didn't choose that. God didn't give the tectonic plates free will, did he? We live in a broken ecosystem. In the Christian worldview, nature itself is groaning. But even scientifically, the very forces that cause earthquakes, plate tectonics, are what make Earth habitable. We want a world with no gravity when we fall, but gravity when we want to walk. We want a world that is safe, but we live in a world that is real. Here's my question for you. When you call the world unjust or evil, what standard are you using? If the universe is just atoms and blind physical forces, there is no evil. There is just what happens. A lion eating a lamb isn't evil. It's lunch. I don't need a God to know that a child dying is wrong. Evolution has hardwired us with empathy because cooperation helped our species survive. My outrage is biological, not theological. But biological outrage has no authority. If your morality is just a survival instinct, then evil is just an opinion. By complaining about the injustice of the world, you are inadvertently admitting that there is an absolute justice that the world is failing to meet. You are using God's yardstick to measure how far the world has fallen from him. You talk about yardsticks, but I'm talking about the silence. If I saw a man watching a child drown and he just stood there to teach a lesson about free will, I'd call him a monster. Why does God get a pass? Why is his mysterious ways an acceptable answer for agony? Because we see the canvas, but he sees the gallery. If you look at a painting from 2 inches away, all you see is a dark, ugly smudge. You have to step back to see the masterpiece. That's a platitude. Tell that to the mother in a war zone. I don't tell her a platitude. I point her to a person. Christianity is the only religion where God doesn't just watch from the balcony of heaven. He steps into the mud. On the cross, Jesus cried out, "Why have you forsaken me?" He took the silence of God upon himself so that we would never have to face it alone. I'd rather live in a world that is honestly cruel by chance than one that is lovingly cruel by design. I find more peace in the void than in a God who watches and does nothing. And I find more hope in a God who redeemed the suffering than in a universe where the suffering is the final word. If there is no God, the victim never gets justice and the villain never gets judged. If there is a God, even the darkest night is just the preamble to the morning. 2 men, 1 world. The suffering remains, but the meaning changes. Is the pain a glitch in a machine or a birth pang for something greater? What do you believe?